It is our great honor to invite a talent speaker tonight. Before we invite her to start the sharing, let's watch an introduction video about her. Enjoy. Now let's give a round of applause to invite our honored speaker, Past PJ, to start her sharing about Connect internationally. Past PJ, please.
Thank you, President Evan and VP Teresa's invitation. I feel very homey to see so many past president members, members from our sister chapters, and just to buy one, get one free. I also have Horst here, but we unmute him so he cannot have any objection to what I say. So
I can also speak.
Okay. This invitation starts with something that we only want to share some juicy story about our international development in the relationship. But then I tell VP Teresa that I hold the members to take away something in the end. So I have put in the last two slides about cultural melting, how you get into a new culture. And also more importantly, in the past 2 years, I have made a lot of important decisions, and especially my business also switched a lot due to pandemic. So I think a lot of members in Hong Kong, globally, we have the issues now for upstream movement. Every one of us is facing to such dilemma, how to change from traditional business to more of the new era business. So I would like to share something with you. To start from there, I would like to know a little bit of my background. So I started my company in 2005, and we start with selling some healthy products to the superstore and drug company in Hong Kong. Then we switched to the radiotherapy equipment trading for the 3A hospitals in China. From there, I see a lot of critical illness. So in 2008, I founded a charity in Hong Kong to promote concept of disease prevention and wellness management. That's why in 2008, I signed up JCI, and I was thinking to promote the concept of prevention. You're gonna start from young age. And JCI give me a very positive image that this young group is the right target group to promote. But later on, I think I also developed myself a lot in the sense of reading people, consolidating resources. Also in JC, you will have a lot of brothers, sisters as the fellows. And to be very frankly, at the beginning, I was not taking that I can develop a personal relationship here, because different from all of you, probably when I joined JC, I'm a little bit older than you, mid-30s. So I was thinking that this target group is definitely not my target group to find another half. But now, so I still remember our president advisor, Andrew, always like to say never. So yeah, that's one of the side effects I found my another half in JCI. So currently I'm also participating in JCI Germany Senate Committee. Due to the COVID, we don't have that many events, but I believe we also, there is no boundary in JCI. The I is international. So here, I would like to share with you that one of a very important organization in Institution for the Future. 10 years ago, they have a estimation. Every 10 years, they issue a white book about the future work skills. And about 10 years ago, they predict in 2020, of course, they never predict a pandemic, but they predict in 2020, there will be globally a big change that you need to use more of your computer skills, new media skills, and also to integrate internationally more than before. And all this organization after merger and acquisition will become super large. So this is all what we see now in a trend after it is nearly like a curse for in 2020. What has been predicted or come into true. And if you are interested in this organization, you can go to internet to search an Institution for the Future. You can see what is predicted in 2030. So we can prepare for a better future from now. So if you are really looking for developing internationally, I would say, especially for the young members, congratulate you. You will find a right organization to join. I've never seen an NGO with more sufficient international platform than JCI. Comparing with a Lion Club or Rotary, the international platform of JCI is more intensive. So other than several past presidents in US, prime minister in Japan, here in Germany, a lot of past president or senators, they are very active in the politician area. Every 4 years, we see some JCI member as parliamentarian. So currently, I think we have 2 parliamentarians in Germany, the Bundestag. From here, we always say JCI have 4 areas of development in terms of community, individual, business, international. And I would say that international is the most interesting platform because it's not something superficial like you just join some trip. You actually participate in either a sister chapter event or you even co-host some projects. And you do, for some outbound activities, you see a lot of friends from all over the world. So our inbound activity, like inauguration, you will see globally, there are some guests of honor from other national organizations participating. From local chapter level, you will see the reception from sister chapters. And actually the outbound event, in area conference or World Congress, you will see a lot of members. Easily in World Congress, you see 7,000 to 8,000 members from different areas in the world. And when we visit our sister chapter, we also learn the local culture. We go to visit some business of the local members. And from there, if in the future, you really set up an international business platform, you can also utilize some of the local connections. So for JCI Kowloon actually has 8 sister chapter, but the chapter in Korea is getting more in connection with us. So you see from this Philippines, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, Macau, also Mongolia, we have quite active sister chapters. So some juicy story to share according to the OC team's request. So from this to the left is the photo we took in 2012, the World Congress in Taipei. And I just saw some sister chapter from Taipei also participate in this event. You see a familiar object here. So Horst at that time, it was IT guy, newly joined JC. Unlike we are about to be the president, he is not so much well prepared for JC and for leadership, frankly speaking. But in many years of development, JC actually give you a lot of glories and the sparkling. And especially in Germany, they have a PR public speaking training for the national president, because the national president a lot of time have to represent the German Chamber of Commerce to deliver speech in the parliament. So how you speak. In his year, he has to speak to more than 100 medias in Germany. So I think from all this training, he's becoming more charming. I have to say in 2012, we met each other in Hong Kong, in the Asia Pacific, in Taipei, in the World Congress. We were both not yet good enough for each other, I have to say. From the photo, we have several good friends thereafter, the Senator Herbert and Freehan from Germany. At that time, they were promoting the Leipzig World Congress. And the next story I'd like to share a little bit is inactive sister chapter in Korea. Actually, there was quite a touch little story when we signed a sisterhood pact, and thereafter we went to a evening club. I was the secretary that year. I was not even the president, but there were some Korean members. They show their hospitality in a way that they even peel the skin of the grape for me. It was very touching. I've never seen such hospitality in any other international event in the past. So when you really participate in such an international event in JC, what do you learn from that in your practical work or your life? So at least you can learn, if you are serving international company, you can learn how to invite a guest of honor, how to do the recognition like what president was doing, and the order of presidents and the sitting arrangement, how you arrange the guest, and the use of a bigger occasion. You will also learn how to organize the national anthem and how to dress according to different occasions. Also, especially in the external liaison, how would you do in a so-called the code of conduct, how you do with that area. So here comes the two most important sharing of the day I would like to do. So I would hope you have some takeaway from here. First of all, there's some culture shock, of course, when I firstly arrived Germany. I'm not very conservative, but comparing with the open-minded German, I'm still far lay behind. So there's one funny story that a host requested me to share. So it was the first Valentine's Day I arrived Germany, 2018. And there was Chinese New Year. So I say to host, where you plan to bring me today? And he say, okay. What do you like to do? I say, okay, it's better be something very German, with the German culture, of course. And he said, okay, then I know where to bring you. So opposite to his office, there's a medieval style sauna. And yes, it's cold in winter. It's nice to have a sauna. So we went there. Right in the changing room, I'm already a little bit shocked because it's a man and lady and gentleman mixed changing room. So I've seen so many naked body around me. So I say, host, is that supposed to be what it is like in the sauna? And he said, yes, here is a mixed sauna. I said, you never mentioned it's a mixed sauna. So, you know, I don't even change the clothes before my mom. He said, then you will like it. And so when we walk a little bit deep down, apparently all the lobbies and everywhere. It's all the different ages, different sizes. And you can see different people there. They all very open. So first of all, I'm the only Asian. Secondly, I'm probably the only one covered with the tower. And I said, do I have to also get totally naked? Everyone here? He said, in certain area you have to, like in a steam sauna. For hygiene's reason, everyone have to hang the towel outside. So of course I have to. But I think it's funnily after 5 minutes, I believe even you come here, next time you come to Germany, you go to the mixed sauna, actually 5 minutes later I get used to. Because if everyone is doing the same thing, it's just really like nature. 5 minutes later, it's no different. You see a tree or a flower, it's just part of the nature, it's human body. And every German family in the weekend bring the little kids to the sauna so they can spend a whole day there. And it's also the pricing wise is quite economically. And it's very good for human health. So you're basically changing from, in Hong Kong, if we go to sauna, we always stay in a warm area. But here in Germany, they stay from 50 plus degree and then immediately go through an ice river and then go outside of the garden. So it's not negative 5 to 10 degree, and then they come in again. And then after the observation, I'm thinking, interesting. I think if in this nation, people, the blood circulation should be quite good. And if the blood vessel is not broken, that means it's quite robust after a while. And also the kid from the childhood see so many naked bodies, they have so much like sexual fantasy. So everything is just like nature. So I have quickly a conclusion. I say, Horst, I think the criminal rate, sexual criminal rate in Germany is definitely very low, because if you have a fantasy, you don't have fantasy. You see whatever you want to see in the sauna. And if you really have the need, you also in every city have the red light district. So there is nothing you cannot solve, the problem you cannot solve. So this is the first funny story. If that satisfy the OC team. Second funny story is here in the whole Europe, people cared about their social ranks really low. So in Asia, we normally Asia is very influenced by the order of Confucius, that the emperor and the minister, husband and wife, the boss and the subordinate. So we normally call the past president, senator. Here nobody say that. It's just your name, Horst. So I was even fascinated, as was one of the chapter event. I think Horst is in the chapter 70 years history, the only national president and the only JCI VP. But when we sit on the table, the chapter president was asking Horst, can you help to adjust the camera and the screen on the front of the stage? I think if in Hong Kong, if the president is ignorant doing that, all the past president will slap his ass after a while. But here, nobody really cares about such kind of the so-called social rank or order. There was also one time, Horst normally, if sometimes we have deep discussion in business, he would then go to the office quite late after lunch. So there was one day he said, you know what, today I go to the office earlier. And I said, why? Because he said, the 3 ladies in the front desk, they have a joint cooking and they invite me. Oh, I said, lucky you, then enjoy. There must be 3 ladies cooking. There must be really something, huh? So in the evening, when he come back, I say, so Horst, what have you been eating today? It must be really a good meal, right? He said, when I go there, the food is gone. I said, how so? In Asia, you can never imagine you invite your boss. And then eventually, before you go there, and he's about 5 minutes late, I think, you either call him or you would wait until you arrive to start a meal. But here you don't just get your respect without fighting, or it's just not something come in nature. It's quite a culture shock, I would have to say. Up to now, this is the top story of culture shock to me, quite different. And so after the interesting story, I would like to share about how I mail into the culture, of course. And after the political movement in Hong Kong, and after also the pandemic, I know a lot of young people are thinking of immigrating to UK, to Australia. So you never forget, when you go to a new country, you respect the house rule. If you are the host, you are in Hong Kong, you are the host, you set the rule of the house rule. If you go overseas, then you respect the house rule. So the house rule here in Germany is people are very open. In business, they look very traditional, but in personal life, they are very open. They are not so conservative in the way of thinking. So you want to adapt to this culture. You open your mind. I'll also remember, in any scenario, it's the two flip of coins. You go to one country, there's always pros and cons. For here, the living condition is a little bit better than Hong Kong, but then I don't see my friends. I don't eat the nice food in Hong Kong. There's always one side and the other side. You have to be well prepared. And otherwise, you just change unhappiness in Hong Kong to another unhappiness to UK or to Australia, no difference. So how to conquer the unhappiness? I mean, as Asian, as Buddhism, that always say, you have to do the spiritual practice. Like in Cantonese, we say Ling Sao. And what do you do for the spiritual practice? So basically, all our unhappinesses come from the greed, the hatred, and the delusion. So in Cantonese, we say 貪嗔痴。點解會有貪嗔痴咧？因為我哋自己得到嘅嘢，我哋自己唔滿意；我哋做錯嘅嘢，我哋怪別人。跟住咧，我哋得唔到，明明得唔到，或者根本係唔適合我哋嘅嘢，我哋會黐埋。呢個就係叫貪嗔痴。So take out of the greed, be satisfied. Like during the pandemic, Horst and I, we have only very simple life because all the restaurants here, all the bars are locked down. The fitness center are locked down. Shopping center are closed. So every week we only go to the city center, take a hot chocolate, take a nice burger, and at home we see the movie. We chat a lot, go out for a walk. All this simple life made me quite happy, actually. And we are both quite simple person. So this pandemic is one way, of course, influence our business. On the other way, it gives us the deep thinking, how to take out of something unnecessary, and everyone is back to the basic. So we're not traveling that much. We stay more with the families, and we only ask for something very basic. By the way, today is maybe the day I have the most full makeup. Most of the time in this past 2 years, I don't do a full makeup, not necessarily. And for the hatred, remember, every time you feel unhappy, it is always because of yourself. It has nothing to do with the environment or someone who is hurting you, or it's how you perceive your environment. If you look at things from different angle, you always perceive a more positive way. And also the delusion, do not get indulged with things which is not possible to get, or too difficult to get, or something which is not belonging to you. And don't get confused with the life. Come to the end, it's emptiness. In Chinese, we call it Hongseng. It means from every aspect, you see different angle, you see different size of everything. with this attitude, I think you can feel happy anywhere in the world. And you don't have to leave Hong Kong. Hong Kong is still the lovable city. You don't have to leave Hong Kong. But in my next slide, I would like to share with you, in the past 2 years, I did make a lot of big decisions. My business is almost 100% influenced by the pandemic. The procurement of the National Health Commission is not active. And now my business is switched to the medical investment consultant. So for like some hospitals in China, we are trying to merge into the US listed company now. Also for some Hong Kong listed company now, they losing a lot of profit. We have some good projects in China to merge into the listed company in Hong Kong. So currently my work schedule is really 3 time zones. So Beijing time, Europe, and also New York, 3 time zones. What did I do for the decision making is something I would like to have all the members to take away. So first of all, for choosing a right partner, either it's a life partner or it's business partner, I cared about 3 views. So the view of life, view of the world, and the view of value is the key issues for how I choose a partner. I remember when I tried to apply for the German visa in the embassy, consulate in Hong Kong. And the lady was looking at my Hong Kong passport and she said, actually, you didn't visit German for many times. How can you just decide you want to marry? I say, yes, we are really, it's a really flash marriage. To be frankly speaking, after 2012 and 2017, in between 5 years, we never met. Occasionally, we chat each other. And I think Pastor P. Andrews passed away. Somehow, I was quite heartbroken at that time. So it was in December, in November 2017, I decided to go to Amsterdam for the World Congress. There I met Horst again. And that year he was JCI VP, and thereafter he had a lot of his own time, let's say. So we traveled to Germany together thereafter. But we are always surrounded by a big group of JCI members, like the photo before. We actually, before we decide to marry, we don't have that many time just to chat with each other one by one until 2018. The chapter has, I think, 35 members visiting Hong Kong, and Pastor Queenie was also joining the drink with them. After the 1 week of staying, day and night talk, and also day and night talk after the host stayed 3 days more, we realized actually our views is very similar. And our life can be quite simple and quite happy with this kind of view. So we have really a flash marriage. After that 10 days, host in the morning, in one day, the JCI Capital's newly founded chapter, JCI Progress, has a member visiting Hong Kong. And then we had a drink in Central until like 5 in the morning. And host said, thereafter said, I think we should get married. I said, huh? Why so hurry? He said, oh, I think we are the right choice for each other. And I say, how so? He said, we are from the deep talk. I think our value is very similar. And also my members think we are a good match. And I say, so when you want to get married? He said, you are my family manager. I'm flexible. He's very cunning. So that comes to the very important sharing. If any one of you are still single, or any one of you are looking for the business partner, look at the 3 view. The 3 view in Chinese, I like to repeat. 三觀啊，即係中國人話人生觀、世界觀同埋嗰個價值觀。 I think it's the most important, because when you be together, when you're really together, a small issue from what you want to eat to big issue how you build your future. Every conflict is about the three views, and you have a thought whether it's true. And the next big topic I'd like to share is about decision making. A lot of time we have difficulty for making a decision. So because some people apply the vertical thinking. Vertical thinking means when you do the evaluation, whether or not to do something, today you add some point, tomorrow you think the boyfriend is not so nice, you deduct some point. In that way, you can never judge whether it's the right match or not, or you want to make a new business plan. It's the same thing. For me, make any big decision, it's 2 hours maximum. Even I decide whether I want to marry someone, 1 to 2 hours. Whether I want to move to Germany, move our home base to Germany, 1 2 hours decision, because I use the horizontal thinking. The horizontal thinking means you list out all the most important elements for your decision making. For me, I have shared, it's the 3 views. And to decide to make our home base in Germany, of course, I have asked other estimation that before, my decision house is half a month in Hong Kong, half a month in Germany. So it's very exhausting for him. So after a while, I think actually for my business nature, I can make Germany a home base, and I can travel every 2 months back to Hong Kong. So I was not giving any farewell party because of course I was not predicting there will be a pandemic. I was thinking that I would have to always come back quite frequent. And the next is the self-development path. If any of you are facing to the big decision making, how do I relocate my business, especially our traditional business offline now are heavily hit. Either you are from hospitality, retailing, tourism business is heavily hit. And the professor in Harvard Medical School also predict this pandemic, the virus can be transformed from time to time, even after the vaccination. We would probably have to fight and dance with this pandemic for quite a long time, hopefully to 2025. So how do we restructure our self-development? This is a very important point I'd like to share. So there's one way of development called a linear development. A linear development means you get a higher education. You perceive a job from manager to director degree. Then your income is maybe from 4 digit to 5 digit. This is a linear development, linear way. What is an exponential way? It's more interesting. I want to focus. Exponential way in Chinese means 急手影的希望. What is the exponential thinking? First of all, you need to predict the future trend. That's why I shared in the beginning the future work of 2020. And now you can have a look, future work of 2030. You know the trend in the future. So if 10 years ago, example, you already predict such a trend, you already equip yourself in a business of online business, of something related to telemedicine, AI, the smart machine, this kind of business, you will be more well prepared for the next 10 years, 20 years. And such a exponential development, actually, it brings you an opportunity of explosive development. Of course, in either linear or exponential development, we ourselves are keeping changing. Our personal life, our view are keeping changing. But such kind of changing, if you put that into an exponential changing, you are more hopefully to benefit from that wave. The other important focus for exponential thinking is, I would highly recommend all the young people in Hong Kong to open your vision really internationally. to open your thinking really widely. So first of all, you need to read something about history and know something about geography. So it's, by example, to connect your future development with the Belt and Road, with what China is developing. It is definitely, you have a higher opportunity of exponential development. If you, I think one of the JCI Dragon member, he has his logistic business. It used to be not so big, but connected it with the Belt and Road development, it's times bigger. So when you have the future planning, everyone is doing the future planning. For myself, in the future, I want to set up a platform for China-Europe dialogue and business and cultural exchange and development platform. In that platform, I would initiate some think tank, Sino-Europe think tank. And this is an important, other than JCI network, it will be the next decade for me, a very important network I want to build up, the think tank level. And for my own business, from that platform, I would focus on the merger and acquisition business, especially in the medical field. And the medical field, we will see, especially now in Europe, the economy is heavily hit. I estimate the M&A sector will be quite active in the next years. So a lot of European companies will seek for new fund to develop. That's how I implement my personal development to an exponential development. So I share my personal view with you. If there's any more difficult to understand, we can stay thereafter to have chit chat or Q&A session. And in life, we always have conflict. So we have conflict with our environment or with our conflict with the business partners. And how do we solve the conflict? And whenever I have a conflict with the business partner, I always think that because we are probably having a dialogue in the same platform, and we probably don't have the interest alignment. So interest alignment is a very important consideration you want to integrate with your business partner. And the same with your life partner is the same. I remember before we married, Horst and I, we were both business owner of our own company. So in case we split up, how do we want to split up the company business, or how do we want to split up the fortune? We had a discussion. And in the end, other than most of the people just sign an agreement or having a split, I have the quick, we solve this big potential conflict in 5 minutes. I have an initiation that we would set up a family trust. To set up the family trust, we have the interest alignment. So we both put out the money we earn into the trust. And even in the future, we potentially, if there is a split, we then stop funding this family trust. If we have a new family member, we have a new family trust. So it's a very easy way to solve the potential conflict. When you want to solve the conflict, you can either have a one level up to guide your partner to the next platform, or you can sometimes downgrade your platform. Example, if I have the dialogue, sometimes an argument with my 85 years old mother, I cannot ask her to upgrade to my platform. I would then downgrade my platform, and I would talk in her way, her language, to make her easily understand. So this is a wisdom, how you solve the conflict. You don't stay in the same platform and non-stop argue. The next about the dilemma solving. If you have any difficult situation between yes and no, left or right, always focus on the long vision, always focus on the future. Don't have the short vision like today, current, I get a quick benefit, then you lose the big future. That's not smart. And the end of the sharing is the most important, how to do the self-improvement. Also, I want to close this sharing in a Chinese saying. To read 10,000 books, communicating with 10,000 people, and traveling 10,000 miles. And JCI is a really good platform to travel together and do the project together. It's a really good experience internationally. So I close my sharing with a Chinese sentence. 咁我祝大家咧讀萬卷書，以文人緣同埋行文理路。咁呢個係我哋自我發展嘅。This is the book I recently read. It's heavily the merger and acquisition. So I want to read. Heavily recommend reading the book. An example, you have some question about Hong Kong political issue. You don't just read the media. Like, because now the media is AI detection. Whatever content you like to read, they keep feeding you the same content. If you have questions, you go to the central library. You go to read the statement between China and UK. What did they announce during the turnover? You read the book. So by this book, I read the second chapter, and I already realized I can open up some new business. Because in the past, my M&A consulting limited to the deal flow, to close the deal. And actually with this book, it says the 75 of acquisition and merger in the end is failure because of the integration. So you need to give the company a pre and post investment consulting and also the training. So hopefully, maybe in the future, possibly CK and I can have some cooperation. That's a new thought. So only after I read this book, and I will write to these two authors who are the chairman and the vice chairman of the United States M&A Association. The book is quite interesting, quite inspiring to me. So I am open to the floor for questions. And I think we open for question in English first, and then we can go to Chinese. And then if you like to stay for chit chat, I'm more than happy. Even today is a nice weather. House would really like to go out for a hot chocolate. I would still stay until my member says it's enough. So thank you.